Ah yes, TikTok, place for dances, live shopping, and of course, terrible financial advice. My name's Chris and I've been a corporate accountant for the last decade, and today I'll be reacting to some questionable money advice that will definitely make you less rich. Let's jump right into it.
I've been lied to. We need to talk about why budgets are bullshit and why trying to budget actually sets you up for financial failure. Did you realize that 79% of people who try to budget fail? This is a huge problem, and it's not just because people have been given bad financial advice. It's because of this thing called RAS and your cognitive bias. So when you have a belief, let's say that belief is you're bad with money, your brain is constantly looking for ways to confirm that bias. The problem is budgets don't work. They don't address the real problems we're having, because for most people, it's not a simple math problem. So you do what traditional advice tells you to, and you create a budget, and maybe you have success for a month or two, but then you fall off because you didn't address any of the psychology or behaviors that were actually keeping you stuck. So your confirmation bias kicks in and it goes, yep, told you you weren't good with money. And if we know anything about psychology, we know whether we think we can or we think we can't, we are right. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And now this belief becomes ingrained in you, so you start to act out your truth. When you have the opportunity to self-sabotage, like buying that thing on your credit card or missing that payment or not packing your lunch, you think, oh, well, this is just who I am. This is how a budget literally keeps you broke, by reinforcing old and negative thought patterns that tell you that you're not good enough so that you don't even try. This is why being good with money is 80% mindset and behavior and only 20% tactic.
That stat seems made up. This is just completely negative, and my counterpoint to this money expert slash psychologist slash whatever else she says that she is why not tell the RAS part of your brain, or whatever it's called, that you're good with money? This just feels like she made a video for social media that is giving people an excuse as to why they feel like they're stuck with their money. Super smart for social media, terrible for actual personal finances. Either way, there wasn't really a solution or an alternative of what people should be doing instead of budgeting, so I guess I'm a little confused with the message here. A budget doesn't show us what we can't do with our money, it actually shows us what we can do with our money. Having a budget just gives us more information, data, context to be able to make our money decisions. I agree that too many people give up on this, but I think it's because the word budget has so many negative connotations around it, and it's probably because of videos like this. Use a budget as a tool to align your money to the things that you say matter the most.
The most unconventional piece of advice.
The most unconventional piece of advice is that actually the more your expenses are, the harder you're going to go work if you're in an industry like sales or you're an entrepreneur. So not being such a stingy guy and trying to live in like the worst place because the rent is cheap and drive the crappiest car because the payment is low. Like, go chase after the things you want to get, even if they're material. It's not the worst thing in the world to want a Rolex or want a Lamborghini.
A Lambo?
And when you have those things and your expenses are a bit higher, guess what? It forces you to go out and work a bit harder. So if your expenses are, 10K, but it makes you go sell an extra 3 deals, which makes you 15K, then you just profited by having those cool things that you always wanted.
So is this guy saying if we spend money like a billionaire, we will become a billionaire out of stress of the high amount of expenses that we have? I understand in an industry like sales where your income could go through the roof, right? But I would generally not recommend people just increase their expenses in hopes that the amount of hard work that they're putting in is going to increase their income. More expenses does not equal higher income. I can't believe I had to say that part out loud. What I don't mind saying out loud is if you're liking this reaction style content, make sure to subscribe and I'll do more. I'll do it.
Are you someone that gets paid on their payday and then gets so excited by like just seeing that money in your bank account and you just spend it and you have nothing by Monday? Here's a tip to help. On your paydays, I want you to make an intentional list of things you'd want to buy yourself. And then when payday comes, I want you to pick one thing off that list, okay? So we'll satisfy your need to buy yourself something tangible or reward yourself for the past 2 weeks. I'm lean into that, but not overspend so that by Monday, you're using your credit card again.
I get what she's saying, but this could get out of control easily. We all know the guy from the last video would have had Lambo on his list. I don't buy into the idea of needing to feel rewarded every time you get your paycheck. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, reward yourself by putting that money that you're going to put towards the thing that you wanted to buy towards a financial goal, like saving money, paying off debt. If you truly want to reward yourself, that's what you need to do. But we can't complain about being in paycheck to paycheck cycle, but also not do anything about it. Just an extra $50 or $100 each month towards a financial goal goes a long way.
Here are the 3 reasons why budgeting sucks. Reason number 1, it almost
always
puts you in a bad mindset, right? You have this negative feeling towards money.
Another budget
Reason
basher.
number 2 is because it's like a diet, right? We go on a diet, we tell ourselves we're not going to eat certain things. Budgeting, we tell ourselves we're not going to buy certain things, or we restrict ourselves.
Nope.
And reason number 3 is because we all have limited willpower, right? Just like a diet, you tell yourself you're not going to eat that cookie. Eventually, you break down and you eat that cookie. Budgeting, we tell ourselves we're not going to buy those shoes or whatever it might be. Eventually, we end up breaking down and buying that thing, and then we just feel bad about ourselves.
Wow, this has been a tough batch today, but we have another budget basher without an alternative for what people should be doing instead of budgeting. He mentioned how budgeting is restricting, and if that's how you feel, maybe you're just going about the process the wrong way, or your expenses are too high for your income. And unlike this guy, I actually have a recommendation for you. So set up a list of what I call your North Star goals. So these could be 2 things, 5 things, 10 things. It doesn't matter. These are the things that you are telling yourself matter the most to you. So this could be life stuff. This could be financial goals, whatever. Then we make sure that everything in life, so our money, our time, our effort, our sacrifices get filtered through these North Star goals, and then everything else is where we can kind of trim around the fat. And that's how we get ahead while still doing the stuff that we care about the most.
During the 2008 recession, I was a brand new adult, so here are some of the unhinged ways that I may or may not have saved money. I admit to doing none of these things.
Ooh, I won't tell anyone, don't worry.
Find a nearby hotel that offers free breakfast, walk in, go up the elevator to the 5th floor, go back down to the 1st floor, and go get your breakfast. Nobody's paying that close of attention to who's actually a guest and who's not. Get a folder to save all your receipts in, especially ones for bigger purchases. And then if that big purchase goes on clearance at a later date, buy it and then return it with the old receipt, and then you'll be able to pocket the difference.
Feels a little scammy, but
create an email address specifically to share with family members for sharing streaming services, memberships like to Sam's Club, anything like that that costs money on a monthly basis that you can share with your family. That way there's never any back and forth about, can you check your email for the code? I just had it sent to your email, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to worry about waiting on other people. It's just always going to be there. Anytime you're out to eat somewhere, grab extra condiments, bring them home, put them in your fridge, forget they're there until you need them later.
Taco Bell mild sauce.
If your eyesight isn't truly terrible, only wear 1 contact lens at a time.
I respect the efforts that were made here. Like they say, it's not illegal if you don't get caught. I don't condone crime.
Your older self's gonna hate your younger version of you because you blew the opportunity of a lifetime because you were too focused on saving money. I used to be the same way, thinking that you had to save money when you were young so that you could put it away, invest it, and so that it'd compound. But for what? Like maybe it'd compound to $1 million, $2 million when you're 65. I got some advice from a boss and it completely changed my perspective. Okay. His advice was that if you believe in yourself, spend aggressively when you're young. Like he said to spend everything. I don't fully go that way because I do think you need to save for a rainy day, but his advice was if you believe in yourself, what you make in the future, you're gonna have paydays that are 7, 8, maybe even 9 figures. And when you get that, the money that you saved, like the $2 million that you have saved up in your 401k, are gonna be irrelevant. It's gonna be peanuts. But instead, the utility that you could have had on that incremental money when you were young, like the max you can put in a 401k is $20,000. Imagine if every year you could instead spend $20,000 more. Like imagine the trips that you take, imagine the things that you do. I'm not saying spend your money stupidly. I'm completely against that. But you could have a way better time and make way more memories, which is actually going to matter to you and be the only thing that counts when you do end up having all the money in the world and all your money needs are met. So it changed my mind. There's a fine line in there and you have to find it, but
there's a fine line.
I think it'll change yours too.
Okay, if you know this guy, let me know how his date was. He probably didn't pay though because he's too busy going YOLO with all the money that he has, patiently waiting for that $100 million payout. What he's talking about here is opportunity cost, and sure, maybe there's a more optimized way or thing to do with our money, but saving money or investing like he was talking about isn't a milestone, it's a habit. Everyone needs to save money. I will die on that hill. And it's not sexy, and that's why a lot of people don't do it. A lot of people are more interested in the stuff that he's talking about, these huge like paydays or whatever. But again, it's a habit. We have to build up that muscle. Okay. Oh, okay, very smart. I love that. I know this was fake, right? But if a flame was large enough, would that actually work? Plumbers, scientists, down in the comments, you guys let me know. Do you guys like this kind of content? If so, make sure to subscribe or just check out this one.